I'm making as many people panelists as I can here really quickly. Got some new faces on. This is great. Boy, a bunch of people on today. Let's see. Theory, great. Make panelists. Some new faces on. Not exactly sure who wants to be on as panelists, but I'll bring people on. You guys can cut on your webcams. And wow, Matt Sukut's on. That's great. That's great. Michael Freeman, Peter, a lot of new names. This is great. James Burke. Okay, I'm actually going to start with the Lord's Prayer, something I like to do from my old wrestling days. My coach would just do it. I actually wasn't even a Christian at the time, but I just really liked it. So I'm going to start that way and we'll go from there. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Okay, let's rock and roll here. Terrific preparation for today. We got a lot of stuff, more than I expected. I will try to get back and do a little bit more. Oh, Smitty's on, hooray. Let me see if I can make Smitty a panelist. That's great, lots of people on. I'm gonna try to make Matt, all right, there's a lot of people I probably can't make panelists. So let's see how to organize this. All right, so here's the goods that we have. I believe that we have somebody on who's who's currently having a whole bunch of success on in the top 50s or so on Arena, so that's gonna be really cool. And that's from Gary. It's one of Gary's buddies who's gonna come on, and we'll be talking about his terrific red-white deck. I've got a great deck to show you guys. I think you guys are really gonna like it. I got a lot of the in real life cards here for you to sneak peek it for you here. I don't have all the cards yet, but I'll have them soon. My wife is working with contractors in the background, so there'll be a little bit of background noise. Hopefully not as much as last time. So we're gonna go over the deck that Gary's brought on with his friend and teammate, and very welcome to the show. This show is really evolved in a way that I wanted it to. I thought when I saw Pat McAfee's show right away, I was like, damn, that's great. You know, he really just nailed it. If any of you guys have seen it, he's got a great podcast and it really has a great energy to it and a great overall feel to it. And it's something that I really wanted. It's one of the reasons I wanted Smitty on this, because I've known Smitty for so long, and so we have a real natural chemistry and a real natural energy. Smitty, you can cut on your webcam if you want, but if you don't feel like it, that's fine. But I know your audio is on. So you know, a lot of the Smitty's playtesting gets featured, but I also want Smitty's awesome personality to be featured too. So we've got, like I said, 2 decks that we're going to be working on today. The podcast is really coming along, but this, to me, it strikes me like something it's going to be a real phenom, because it really has a reason to continue this way. Everyone who's doing it, there's no real lift. We all just want to do this, and it's fun preparing for this podcast week to week. I don't know if we could do more than weekly, but at least as a weekly podcast, it's pretty awesome. So with that all said, we're going to start as quickly as we can with Gary, and we're going to I'll maybe even play a game with the red-white deck that they've been playing with. I see it more and more a little bit in the standard queue, so we'll talk about that really exciting red-white aggressive deck. We featured it last week when Gary came on. That was really cool. His buddy has been taking Mythic by storm with it. He's been in the top 50, 60. So I believe he's on the webinar. If he is, that's great. If he's not, then we'll work something out, but I'll certainly feature that deck. Then I'm going to show you a new deck I've been working on. Smitty has some playtest results. Also, Theory and Bryn have been meeting up. That's been great. Jeremy's on. He's just learning about Magic, but that's terrific. I wanted him to. He and I have a webinar tomorrow, so that's going to be fun. We're working on that, some stuff for some online money getting. We'll talk a little bit, just a tiny bit about that. We'll talk a tiny bit about, you know, getting your own Upwork profile set up if you want to, and, you know, start to think about setting up your city SEO website and so forth. We'll talk about that. But we have lots to talk about, and if we have time at the end, I'll hit the Spider-Man spoiler, maybe a little bit more, talk a little bit more about it. Gary, great to have you on. I know you're getting ready to head off to Japan. So it's exciting to have you on. Did your buddy make it on? Is he in the audience, or did?
Yeah, he did. Michael Freeman.
Michael
Freeman.
Okay, I think I saw him on, and now let me go. Here we go. Michael Freeman, great. So Michael, I'm going to make you a panelist, and that should allow you to come on. And of course, anybody, if you have questions or anything that you want to say. Peter said, hey, Mike, yeah, let me know where you guys are coming in from. Really great to have you on. I see Matt's on. Hey, Michael, great to have you on. Congratulations for all the success you've been having. Let me pull up. I'm going to pull up. I've got the screen sharing pulled up, so I'll pull up Arena. I have had no time for Mythic, but I did manage to make Diamond 1 this morning with the deck I'll be showing you guys off. But let me, before I do any of that stuff, let me jump into. So cool deck. This is something Gary liked it so much he played it at the Spotlight, and I've got it right here. This is a version that you were playing, I believe, very recently. Do you want to explain this deck to us, and then maybe I'll play a game for everybody?
Yeah, so the deck is pretty much Boros Burn with some creatures that absolutely keep the pressure on the entire game. We tweaked it quite a bit from what we played at the Star City Games event.
You made day 2, by the way. Congratulations, great job.
Thank you. Yeah, honestly, I probably should have did a little bit better. I had a judge call not go my way. That I haven't played competitively for a long time.
Yeah, a lot of complaints about the judges. I had some strange experiences, but maybe they're great. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't played competitively for quite a while, so I take full blame for that. The old me would have slowed everything down during the game, and you just have to be careful with triggers.
It was my first game. It was my first tournament in 20 years. The last time I was in that room, I had 700 people watching Jordan Belfort teach agency owners how to sell SEO. So it was very, very new to me. I had played a Magic tournament in 20 years, but I'm still making decks and so forth. So, okay, so what is this similar to what you're playing right now? Because I know you're on a tear.
Yeah, so I believe.
Do you want to look it over and see if there's any changes you made since this last list that I got from Gary?
Yeah, let me just blow it up. You got the mice in there, right? The 2-drop.
3 challengers.
Yeah. Yep. So this is the exact list that I'm running. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So pretty much, I'll start with the 1-drops. We got the Hired Claws. We have the Greasewrench Goblins, and those are just great 1-drops to get going.
They're rough and tumble. They really are, because they can grow. If they attack, you can't really block them.
Yeah. And with the Greasewrench Goblin, obviously, it helps you later on. It's not the biggest threat, so they typically leave it out there. And the biggest problem that this deck has is if it runs out of gas, if you draw too many lands. And what it does is it helps you filter those out. The rest of the 1-drops are obviously, I think the Burst Lightning is probably the best 1-drop removal right now in the standard format.
I was wondering if we think that there is a ban coming. They moved it up to November 10th. And I was actually thinking to myself, I wonder if they're going to take out Burst Lightning. I doubt it, but I wonder. Go ahead.
We still have Shock, which would be great, and then,
I was just musing. I don't think it would debilitate this deck or not. Because I think they have to do something probably to take the edge off of red a little bit more, I assume. I mean, obviously they're going to do some kind of Cauldron ban, either Cauldron or Vivi or both. But then I just wonder if they're going to take a little bit of the edge more off of red. I assume that they would. My guess is that we're not going to see Screaming Nemesis anymore, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. So if you want to beat Vivi, this is the deck. I feel like there's really, with the Needler and the pressure that this deck puts on, and then after Sideboard, it is just, I feel like it's perfect. Honestly,
Let me build out your sideboard. I don't have your sideboard, so let's build in your sideboard. And just so everybody knows, I think as of yesterday, you were 60th in Arena. So this deck is really playing well. What are the sideboard cards?
I have 2 High Noon.
Right, who are you bringing High Noon in? And this is a great, folks, never think of sideboarding in a vacuum. It's always what goes out, what comes in when. Sometimes it's a question of when you're on the play and when you're on the draw, by the way, right?
Yes,
and so on.
Exactly.
All right, so who are we bringing in High Noon for, and what are we taking out?
So we're usually bringing in High Noon for the Vivi matchup, and almost every game we're boarding out either Boltwaves or the Greasewrench Goblins. Once in a while, I'll take a dragon out, but it's usually good to leave one just to kind of finish people off in the air and fly over.
What's your full package against BB?
2 Sheltereds, 2 High Noons,
Okay.
and 2 of the what's the white removal that gives the map tokens?
Get lost.
Get lost.
Get lost. Yep.
Okay, so you're bringing in 6.
Yep.
So we're gonna so you're taking out basically what, like two goblins
3,
and 4
yep.
Boltwaves.
Well, I'm taking out 3 Boltwaves and 2 goblins. I like to leave one of each.
5.
Yeah, because we still need the creatures. Yeah, we still need the creatures for the shelter to target. So I don't want to take all of the Greasewrench Goblins out. We still have to keep those numbers kind of decent.
Okay, great. I agree with that. So taking Boltwave out, and again, this is a card that just doesn't affect the state of the game. It just affects your overall life total, and you're really needing the card economy is what you're feeling. Like it's not just tempo with them. It's like tempo, and also one of the things to realize about facing Vivi is it's a very intense card economy war, and they're going into these crazy combos against you. So
exactly.
you
have to interact. Yeah.
Okay,
if you don't interact with that deck, it will run you over. So
okay,
you
and then
have
Get
to
Lost
slow
is going to give you Get Lost is going to give you a little bit of something against their enchantment that makes their creatures so big, and a little bit more instant kill. Obviously, Shelter by Ghost is just kind of can be a backbreaker. That sometimes they just can't really deal with it. And then High Noon, your feel is that if you just go one card at a time, you're going to beat them. And then High Noon has kind of a finishing where you can do 5 damage roll with 5 mana.
The best part about it, but honestly, the Get Lost, I typically wait. It's my removal for their creatures that get bigger than a 3-butt. They're putting counters on their stuff.
Right,
It's
you're not looking to remove their creatures for a tempo play. You're more waiting for them to kind of invest and then you try to rug pull them.
Bang, exactly. Yep.
Great analysis. Okay, and this is why it's great. Like right now we have, and it's one of the things I wanted us to have the capacity to do with this podcast is to really get great raw new science from somebody who's right in the field doing it. Theory was number 7 a couple of years ago on Arena. He just particularly had a great deck, had the right timing, knew what he was doing. And so you could, if we'd had the right environment for him, we could have had him on and he could have broken that deck down for us right while he was playing and so on. And so this is really cool for us to be doing this with Michael right now while he's in the moment, because mine and David Mill's methods going back to 2003 when we launched Magic Secrets, MTG Secrets, with over-the-shoulder training, years before YouTube, was we wanted to bring raw science to people. So much of Magic, even at the pro level, really boils down to people kind of just being superstitious with their own various proclivities and things that they like and so forth. And if you can make things more scientific, you're really going to just have a lot more success. I think that this approach, and it's something that really helps with business. One of the reasons why I really want to keep a really high bar with this podcast for our science is that we have a lot of business interested people as well on here. Probably half or more of the people that are on are interested in also building a digital business. And so you really, most digital businesses these days really have an impact on customers, right? And their experience and so forth. And that reason alone makes it a boundary that you really want to be scientific and accurate. And so we just really got into a terrific sideboard. The confrontation between a Vivi deck. I could pull up a Vivi deck in a second for those that are disoriented by what I'm talking about in retrospect, but basically a Vivi Cauldron deck, which I'll again pull up when we go. But I wanted to take some time to highlight the value of what we're getting here from Michael. Terrific. So Michael, let's go through some other matchups. Let's fill out the rest of the sideboard. What are we doing against Control?
Hold on one second. Let me yeah, hey Gary, if you're on, send me the picture of the sideboard list because I'm on my phone.
Will
That's
do.
what I play.
I
Thanks,
gotcha.
pal. Yeah,
No,
just
I
set
know
it
how
on
this goes.
Facebook.
Yeah, you get on in the moment. We're not all professional podcast. Yeah, I went on my first webinar all the way back in 2003, folks. So not everyone's been doing it that long.
Yeah.
Great.
So we're playing 3 of the links in the sideboard also.
Links. Okay, yeah, and that's something that Gary's really been talking up, is how great the links has been. So we got
Amazing.
3 of these in the sideboard. I actually don't have 3, so I'm just going to put 1 in the sideboard for now, but you guys will kind of get the point. Now, who are our links going in for?
The control matchups that play a million different colored, tap lands and check lands, whatever they have.
Right.
It's nice to just exhaust everything and really go at them. And they just use all their removal, and then
So that way, so your point is that you can really run at them, and this is a card that can come down and really finish them.
Exactly. Yeah.
And,
I mean, I've had it.
Ideally, you can get it down before they play that Bezu and gain the 4 life and all that garbage.
Absolutely. Well, one of my favorite interactions with this deck is the Screaming Nemesis, where you can just burst lightning it while that trigger is on the stack, shoot them for 2 to the face, and they can't gain any life for the rest of the game.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely smartly.
Yeah.
Smartly. You can also
that spotlight finisher, that one match against Amir Control, Nova Hellkite taking out, killing the bat, getting the burst lightning back to hit your own Screaming Nemesis, so then the 3/3 lifelink Nighthawk dude doesn't gain the life.
Yeah, it doesn't gain the life, and they're
Freeman saw that at the spotlight over my shoulder in round 2. He's like,
cool. Super cool. So you can also use your Twinmaw to blast your opponent for a final 5 points of damage. Okay, so now what are we taking out against these kind of control decks? We're thinking about sort of keeper style control, probably counter decks. And so on. What are we taking out? We're putting in 3 Lynxes. Are we putting anything else in?
Yeah. So honestly, I'm taking out the Twinmaw.
Yep, I figured.
Yeah. I was taking out 2 dragons, even though it's a great turn 3 to kind of smash for 4. Everything else in the deck is super good against control. You want to get out the gate as fast as possible against them.
Right. One of the things you don't want to do is kind of water yourself down when you're doing a sideboarding. You don't want to lose kind of what the deck is. So basically, these 3 cards right here go out. The Sunspire Lynxes go in, and now you're much stronger against them. Now, do you have anything specific against Synthesizer?
Which card? I'm sorry.
The Synthesizer decks that make all the giant creature tokens.
Oh, yeah. That's what we're running the sideboards for. So we're running 2 Day of Judgment in the sideboard just for that matchup.
You literally have Day of Judgment.
Yeah, it's great. It is so good.
Wait, you have it against this? You bring this in against Synthesizer decks?
Yeah, any turbo creature deck, they play their entire hand out.
And I more meant the Synthesizer. I think you're probably not thinking the same card I'm thinking of. Let me just quickly qualify myself.
Yeah, pull it up.
I mean this thing. But I love to say Day of Judgment for a different reason. But you don't mean for this.
Which one? I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it.
Where when artifacts come into play.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big dude. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So.
Okay, so you're talking about mid-range creature decks. We'll get back to Synthesizer if at all later. You could always address it with the kill all artifacts card.
Yeah.
So you what were we just talking about?
I have not lost to that deck
you just run it over, right?
Yeah. Shelters are great against that deck.
Mm-hmm.
You can just plop it on your creature, exile their token makers. We have the Boros Charms when they try to shoot our guys. When they sack an artifact to deal 2 damage, we can give our guy indestructible. It's very hard for them to beat our deck if we draw even decent.
Right.
They take a while to get going.
Them under a lot of pressure. Great.
Yes.
So the Day of Judgments are going to come in against kind of mid-range creature decks. Anybody who's going to, green, they have those Obroids or whatever they are, the 1/3 guys that make everything a big threat. So against those guys, you want a Day of Judgment them. What are you taking out against them?
So we're taking out the Greasewrenches and the Boltwaves that they just, we'll probably take out more Boltwaves because they just don't interact with those creatures. I'm more talking about the black-green deck that puts tons of tokens. And I'm talking about the teamer deck that just turbos out creatures. They make all their creatures cost less, and they just power out a whole bunch of creatures.
Yeah, you're talking about
Yeah,
the
the
combo.
teamer mid-range.
That deck is really popular right now.
What's the color combo of that? The main creature. It's a 3-color combo. What is it?
Yeah,
Green,
red, blue.
Yeah,
green,
the
red,
4/3 bar
yeah, here
warrior.
he is. Where is he? I don't know if I have any. Oh, there he was. He was just right there on the screen.
Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about this guy, Teamer Battle Crier. So this is a deck that's just going to put out a zillion creatures or something like that. And so for those decks, you kind of have a surprise for them, Day of Judgment, and you're going to pull out like a couple bolt waves. What else are you going to bring in against a deck like that, or just the 2 Days of Judgment?
The Get Lost, the Sheltereds, great against that deck.
Lost, 2 Sheltered. Okay, so you're probably going to take out 4 bolt waves and then
a dragon or 2.
1 dragon and 1 Greasewrencher.
Probably 2 Greasewrenchers. We'll probably board in about 6 cards here.
6 cards. So 2 Day of Judgment, 2 Shelter by Ghosts, and 2 Get Lost. So we're going to take out 4, and then 2 Greasewrenchers is going to be 6. Leave everything else in. Beautiful. Great clarity there. So we've got 11 cards counted for in our sideboard because, of course, we have 2 Lynxes. I'm just going to put in 2 random other red.
Yeah, so I'll tell you the exact sideboard package against that. Sure. We would take out 2 Greasewrench, 4 Bolt Waves, and 2 Dragons.
Oh, okay. And and then what 2 more cards would you put in? So
we would put the Lynx in. The Lynx is incredible against that deck. I'm not worried about them gaining lands, but when we play it and every one of their lands is a multicolored land, I mean, I've hit people for 8-9 damage in a game with that Lynx before in that matchup. And then we also have a body to kind of deal with their stuff, about the same size creature, you know?
Nice, super card. Okay, so 3 of these Inspiring Vantage. Okay, and then that's 11. All right, and then we have 4 more cards in your sideboard. What are they?
Let me see. We got the Lynx, the show. Oh, 2 Authority of Council, which absolutely destroys mono red.
Right. So this is where you're really crushing the. And then of course against mono red, you're also going to bring in your Shelter by Ghosts. Yep. So that's going to be, those 5 cards are going to come in, and then what 5 cards are coming out?
We're going to take out the Bolt Waves and a couple Greasewrench Goblins.
Like 4 Bolt Waves and 1 Greasewrench Goblin would be
exactly
5. And that'd be, wait, you're bringing 2 Ghosts. Oh, are you bringing Get Lost against them?
No. I would bring in, we have 2 Torch the Towers in our sideboard as well.
Okay. And
if we get going before they do, it's really hard for them to beat us. Extremely hard.
Right. Okay, so you're going to bring in, so what are you taking out against them? 4 Bolt Waves, 2
Greasewrench. 2 Greasewrench. Actually, we would take out all 3 of the Greasewrench. We typically win game 1 against them because we have the Lightning Helix, which, I mean, it swings the game huge.
Yeah.
Killing their guy, gaining life, it's like almost impossible.
And you can also draw your Sheltered by Ghosts, which of course can alone break their back. And then there's some other plays that you have that they don't really typically have. Okay, so so let's see. Your package against red is going to be 2 Torch the Towers, 2 Authoritative Consoles, and 2 Shelter by Ghosts. That's 6 cards that need to go in. That's going to be 4 Bolt Waves
and 2 Goblins. Yeah,
okay, great.
Yeah, the Dragon's still great against them because they have the 1/1 double strike guy. And it's nice to just whack that guy and get him out of there. Plus the 4 over top typically puts a lot of pressure on them as well. Yeah,
great. Okay, well this was really nifty. What I'm going to do right now is just I'll jump into a ranked game with this. I'll play a single, like this will be at least on diamond, so that's kind of good. And I'll just play 1 game with it. I'm just going to play a single game. So let's go to home and let's go to pull his deck into things. It's here. It's right here. I got some covering.
So
Okay,
with these single matchups, and the reason why I don't play them is because people play mono red so much in this that you see that mono white life gain deck, and it's like not really a real deck, but it's an arena deck, because they don't want to lose to mono red.
Oh yeah, no, I know. And you can just get unlucky. I'm not saying that this is not a test of how good this deck is. Or not.
Yeah.
And you of course build it to play 2 out of 3. I'm just gonna play a game. If we catch a bad matchup, it's okay. I can. My ego can handle a loss. And anyways, I just hit diamond 1, so I won't even lose a ranking. I don't even know how that works. You can lose some number of games after you win or something. I don't know. It's kind of strange. Okay, so let me collapse the controls here.
That's
Okay,
pretty good.
I will keep 7, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so he goes first. I'm not going to Boltwave, obviously, so I'll let this come in and play tapped. So he's green. What is he? He's some kind of a slow green deck, probably. Oh no, it's this deck. And he doesn't have a turn 1 or a turn 2. So turn 3, he's going to play like a Hydra. I can kill it with this Nova.
Yeah.
Hellkite.
So I would play your Slickshot and attack because he doesn't have removal, right? He's playing like the green creature deck, so we got to slap the Slickshot down as quick as possible.
Yeah, well, he'll have the bushwhack, but yeah, I agree. It's going to be hard for him to get that off. So we knew he'd do this, so we'll be able to kill that with a Nova Hellkite, which I was expecting. So we certainly want to do that, right? Just kill it for free with a Hellkite.
Oh yeah, we want to set up.
No,
we want to keep.
Let's make sure that I'm not being stupid here. You wouldn't prefer to play the higher claw and then something else.
Yeah.
You want to
kill
that thing immediately because that thing will kill you.
Well, I was saying we could kill it a different way, but yeah, okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, so it's dead, and we'll wickedy whack this guy for 5. And of course, we actually went second this game. I was gonna say we went first, so that was unfair, but I guess we went second. So if we win, that's a really nice one.
Yeah.
It's hard to if he plays that guy.
With the dragon, my rule with the dragon is if there's a target out there for you to kill, play it immediately.
Yeah.
Get as much use of it as possible because everything else will be able to just burn them to the face and later we'll win.
So right here, we want to just burst lightning it and then
Helix their face.
Yeah.
Or you could go burst lightning, Boltwave.
Yeah, burst lightning, Boltwave looks really good, and then save the Helix for
fighting him or the creature.
One with the creature, one in the face,
and then the Boltwave to the face.
Wow,
and that'll be 3 triggers.
Okay, great.
You got a heck of a hand.
Yeah, it's just fire.
And he probably doesn't have any sort of appreciable life gain.
No.
So he's probably in a fair amount of trouble here.
Yeah.
All right, give him a little visit here. Give him a little poke. Say hello.
I mean, nice triple Slickshot trigger.
Slickshot's
+6,
crazy.
+5.
Great. So a lot of fun. And one of the things I want to have, it was something that I brought up at McAfee show, but it's great. On that show, they have, just different people that are from different, they're all football fans, but some of them they just have their different teams that they know about and specialize in and so forth, and they know. And I really wanted to have this with this podcast. I really want, because different Magic players can get into a deck. They can know so much science about it. So I want to have, people that know, the red-white deck really well. And that's one of the things that we taught in MTG Secrets. You can still find it today. It's at magicsecrets.com/thank-u. You can see both of our books there. But we teach these principles of success in Magic, and one of them is, David calls it the ultimate deck. And there's 2 ways to apply the ultimate deck. One is in draft, and one is in constructed. In draft, it has to do with drafting a specific narrow deck that you really know and understand very, very well. I'll put more content about that soon. But in constructed, you can get a really viable deck that's viable for the field and really get to know it well and play it well, and you'll get lots more game wins. You really will. I saw Billy Porcel went all the way to making the U.S. national team Affinity, with the same. He was playing like a very kind of straightforward red, black, blue Affinity deck, and he just got very, very good at it. And he didn't wind up winning, but he did very well. He made the top 4 and made the U.S. national team and all that kind of stuff just based on skill. And he never made a top 8 or, you know, been a Pro Tour player or anything like that I know of. I mean, he may have been on the Pro Tour here and there, but not a big finish. And so, you know, getting good at a deck, understanding it well, and it can be a lot of fun. And so I want to, you know, really maintain a culture where we're able to look at multiple different decks and have fun with it. Let me hear from the peanut gallery. Smitty, are you still on? I know you've had a lot of experience with decks like these. Let me find out if Smitty's unmuted. Oh, still on. Oh, I may have lost him early in the podcast. Okay, I think Jason had to. No, Jason's still on. Smitty, can you hear us? Okay, I'm not getting Smitty back. That's fine. All right. Anybody else that wanted to chime in about that deck? Certainly, I'm sure that Gary has something to say.
Oh, okay, there we go. No, I mean, like, Mike definitely has taken the deck a lot from what we built literally a week before the Spotlight series to what it is now. And like the other fun interactions, like, and it still happens every so often, is when you like have a Razorkin and then you put a Shelter on Ghost on Razorkin or a Higher Claw, and you're getting those extra interactions of damage.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like Higher Claw is pinging for 1, then now you're gaining 1 from that plus the actual attack.
Yeah,
And
the
then
mouse is
Razorkin.
great too. The mouse is awesome because you can target the mouse with the sheltered and give yourself card advantage. You can target the mouse with the Boros Charm, give it double strike, give yourself more card advantage. It's like the whole deck is just like the synergy is crazy with that deck. As you saw, like the slick shot is unreal and he just wins games so fast. It doesn't even give your opponent a chance to get going at all, you know. And I think when you're playing an aggro deck,
if they don't draw that removal though, the slick shot is, and that's a concept in deck construction. It's a real concept in deck construction to be aware when, you know, when you've kind of got somebody on the ropes, but you've got to be able to finish them off. Like they were saying, this Emberheart Challenger can grow. You know, there's a few different cards in the deck that can target it, like Boros Charm here can give double strike. That's one of its modes. So that's kind of a cool interactions they're pointing out, and many, many others. All right, terrific, guys. I really appreciate having you guys on the podcast. I hope you guys will be on next week because that was absolutely fabulous. Do we have any comments from anybody else? Theory, did you have anything you wanted to say about this deck before we move on to next?
Yeah, I like it. I can't wait to try it actually.
Okay, great. All right, so here's a new deck for you folks. I realized this. How did I realize this? I realized it somehow during, like, there was that day when you could sort of have a play-in or something like that. And then I built the elf version of Vivi, and I don't know how it was, but somehow in building the elf version of Vivi, I started really thinking about Orobroid and how it worked and some other things. And okay, so one thing is, I'll tell you, and the reason I named this deck Bunni Bzka is to help you guys remember that cards can be played in a different way, and it can really change the way a deck works. So for example, with this deck that I'm going to show you, I'm going to go through this now. This is a very good deck, guys. It's a very surprising deck. A lot of people will lose just because they will not know what you're doing and they just won't know. They won't know where you're coming from, how you're hitting them. You know, you'll win some games that you could have lost if they knew what you're doing, but that's part of Magic. Part of Magic is the fog of war, and having a rogue deck can really be great. You know, I wasn't seeing any, you know, very few red-white decks of Michael's ilk. I think that Michael's probably out there spreading it a little bit because I'm starting to see it a little bit more. So having something new. So this deck has a lot of things that I really like about it. I'm going to go through the cards and explain some of it, and then I'll play a game with it to show you guys a little bit of it in action. But I use this to go from you know, the bottom of Diamond 4 to Diamond 1 today, and I figured it out yesterday. So it happened pretty fast, and I haven't had hardly any time to play. And I've mostly had to play on sideboard, just one games. Okay, so your Llanowar Elves are really terrific in this deck. You'll always play them first if you can. Although theoretically you could copy someone else's Llanowar Elf with a Mockingbird. Then you've got this guy who is just terrific. Now, I have a lot of experience with this. There's a zombie card that nobody realized, or I never saw it in play, but it was fantastic. And I had a really, really great zombie deck the last time there was a major rotation. I think he's called Champion of the Dead or something like that. I'd have to pull up a different browser to do it. It'd be kind of disruptive. But he cost 1 black for a 1/1 zombie. Maybe he had trample, can't remember. But the biggest thing about him was when you played a zombie, he got a +1/+1 counter. So when Valley Might Caller came out, I realized he could be really, really good. And these things shift around depending on what the metagame is and whether people realize about a card or not and how it works. And right now is such a time when this card can be really, really good, but very few people are playing it. Maybe nobody, effectively in high levels arena or I don't see a lot of deck lists with them. Okay, so we've got 4 of these guys, and then so that's 16 1-drops. I already highlighted the Paw Patch, but think of this Paw Patch as you'll cast him for 1, but you're looking to cast him for 3 because you're looking for that full effect of really punishing your opponent. He really takes away removal from your opponent. He really makes it. You don't even really realize. It's hard to calculate how bad it is to give 2 tokens away, 2 +1/+1 counters away every time you target a creature. So you really want to cast this as a 3-drop if you can. I'll try to show that tendency when we play a game. And then we have 4 Into the Floodmaw. There's never been a card like this, folks. Into the Floodmaw is a really weird card. It has the full power of Boomerang, which was blue, and did the whole thing without the gifting a fish, but it's 1 mana, which is crazy. So it can return any, they can be casting a Star Cage that's going to take out all your creatures, and you can just return it to their hand, untap and kill them, or have a counter ready. Whatever, it can disrupt anything. It's a really different card, really powerful. Okay, this card's another real disruptor. The Flood Pit's Drowner, he's just so devastating. This guy, very disruptive to a lot of decks. Vivi doesn't want to see him. He can really take away. I played blue-white at the Spotlight, and I would sideboard in because of Shay, the deck designer, is really smart. I would actually bring in my Rest in Peace to take away their graveyards. So it's very disruptive, and he's just so big. I've never had him be 7/7 in all the plays that I've had with him, but of course that's a possibility against the right deck. I just put these in this morning. I think that they're great to have 2 of them. You do have 4 birds. Of course, there's a lot of other kind of spells that you could have. I just put this in last night. I just have a feeling that it's better. Because before I had 4 Ororoids and 4 Dream View and Trancers. I think that that's just too much. I like them. I really like them, but just 4 of each just felt like too clunky in the main deck anyways. Possibly I could do something in the sideboard. And then here I have 4 Scrap Shooters. And then I'll show you guys the sideboard. It's a little bit more theoretical. I really haven't had the time to play sideboarded, but we've got, certainly you want negates, some amount, spell cure. Enduring Curiosity would be one of the most important things. It's just going to flip so many matchups. Like blue-white, good luck. I mean, I don't even know what blue-white's going to do against you. If you have 4 Enduring Curiosities, like what do? Like they just hope you don't draw one, I guess. So it's a real problem for them. I have wear downs because I have problem with the that synthesizer deck. Maybe I'm a little bit too slow. A couple of annuls. I don't know. Trying some different stuff. Spell Pierce. But anyway, so this is the deck. 22 of the creatures trigger the Valley Might Caller. So he really grows really well. Plus the recruit will double trigger him. Also, you can copy a creature with 3 steps ahead. I imagine you use 3 steps ahead to copy very often with this deck. You can copy a Drowner and stun a creature. You can copy whatever, a 4/4 certainly awesome to copy. Any of your forecasting cost creatures are very copyable and so on. And of course, it can be used as a counter, and it can be used as a little bit of card draw later on. Okay, so that's the deck. I'm going to show you guys how it plays out in reality. Play one game just to give you guys a sense. But I think this deck, it's so good. I spent all of yesterday buying up the cards for it. Gary was helping me. But yeah, I'm very happy with this deck. And I feel like this is a deck that can be understood, mastered. It really hits from so many different angles. You have so many different types of disruption. But hopefully, I think the mana base won't be like watered down. I don't think you're going to get too flooded. I could be wrong. We'll see. And certainly this won't be affected by any bannings or anything like that. Okie doke. So we've got an okay start. We've got 2 4-drops and the mana to cast them starting turn 3, so that can be neat. Turn 2, we have something good to do. So as long as they don't kill our elf, we're in fine shape. Always hard to, I'm going to give him the old sweaty sign because I'm hoping he's not going to kill my elf. Don't kill my elf. He's just an elf. Okay, you didn't want to see this. Do we poke him for 1 first? There's no reason not to hit him for 1 first. Maybe there's a reason I'm not thinking of, but whatever. Okay, play our curator. Okay, if he doesn't do anything, I suppose I splash the Orbroid next turn. Oh, he wants to do something, doesn't he? He does. Do it. Yeah, it's sacred. It's a relic. Okay, so I could counter, but I just think, let's splash Orbroid. Yeah, and I even have the Into the Flood Maw. So like, I think obviously I'm going to win. Even a cage doesn't really help him that much. And I could bounce the cage at the end of the turn. He does have a cage. It's kind of like the only thing he could have to even stay competitive there. But at least the Orbroid doubles every turn, and I've got a lot of disruption here. Oh my God. I can smash it. Should I do it, guys? You want to see it? Or should I just sit back and be conservative?
Do it, Mike. Do it. Do it.
What do you think, Michael? Should I smash that Star Cage or just sit back? Probably just sit back and let this guy double and double and double. But then he'll cast something. Now let's smash that Star Cage.
Yeah.
Babushka. Look at this. Things you didn't want to see happen. Okay, smash him for 4. And then obviously he has to do that, the unity and get lucky. He has to do the forecasting cost thing and get lucky. Or have a wrath. If he has a wrath, then he's in good shape. Yeah, he has to just do this and get lucky. That's not going to do it. Okay, great. I mean, ultra lucky is what he needs. All right, nifty. So hope you guys get the idea behind the deck. I'm proud to present it. I think it's really cool. Again, this deck just really shines with the power of suck because people do not know these cards. They're not aware of it. Peter, by the way, is tuning in from Germany. That's great. That's great that Peter's coming in from Germany. Let me check our attendees. Yeah, this is awesome, Matt. Man, this is great. Okay, decks. So I wanted to cover those 2 decks. Those were kind of the 2 decks for today. And let me see, I have no sense of the time right now. Oh my gosh, almost. Oh, Smitty says, I don't know why you can't hear me. Let me call Smitty and see if I can just get him on the phone, because I'd love to just get him on the podcast. It's really quite nice for me to hear from him. It's one of my oldest friends. One of my youngest friends, too. I don't know why his audio is not working well.
Hello.
Hey, Smitty. Okay, let's get your thoughts on the red-white deck and on Bunni Bzka.
Yeah. So one thing I was curious about in regards to the red-white deck, I like the way you have it really like fine-tuned into like 2s and 3s and 4s. Is that something you gravitate towards? Is it just how it shook down? Did you start with 4 ofs? How did you come about the number?
Oh, right. So this is one of David's favorite things to do. This is a great question, Michael, and Ryan, of course. You know, one of the big mistakes in playtesting can be having everything be 4 ofs. Every once in a while, it really is the right thing to do. It really can be. But more often than not, having some 2s, having some 3s, even having some 1s can make a big, big difference, and you're really glad for it. And it really is a better number in the, you know, say for the main deck than 2. Michael, do you want to comment on some of these 1s, 2s, and 3s that you have in here?
Absolutely. So the Slickshot, if you have 2 Slickshots and nothing to pump it with, it's just not good. You know, like you have these 1-2s and they're not growing. And I was getting in these spots where I would draw a late Slickshot and have nothing to buff it with, and it wouldn't be great. So that's why I started
edging it back just a little bit. Yeah,
exactly.
Example, because I've run into the same thing with Slickshot. Just thinking for 2.
Yep.
Yeah,
and the same with the Greasewrench.
That kind of sensibility that you guys are saying, again, goes back to what I was saying, because Smitty was bringing up to me last night about the rabbit. Well, he was saying to me about removal and red. And by the way, Smitty, I beat the tar off a lot of red last night with blue-green. It definitely beats blue-green. Blue-green definitely beats red first game. But I'm not saying red-white. Red-white can be much, much harder, of course, as you know. But I'm just saying straight up red. But that's because I think a big part of that is I do tend to play the paw patch different, where I'm really looking, like I'll even have two mite guys in place, like the little guys that grow, the mite collars, and still not play the paw patch at least until the next turn and see if I draw the land, because it makes such a big difference. Anyways, the timing of these cards.
Yeah, I run into that in landfall all the time with the Hydra.
Right. So there's so much of a sense of getting, because very often the difference between Bryn, you really saw this when I gave you the mulligan rules for Shawshank, and it totally changed you as a Magic player. Do you remember?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Can you talk about that really quickly?
Yeah, sure. So before I was kind of like basically a loss was always around the corner, kind of like 50-50. So win 1, lose 1, etc. And I messaged Mike that I was basically stuck. And Mike basically oriented me to 2 ideas. One was the mulligans, and there was another idea. But basically, he mentioned there were like 3 starting.
Like basically, if your hand didn't immediately kill somebody, throw it.
Yeah.
Don't expect it to develop, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
Because it won't. And and what was your win percentage after that?
I know 60 something, 70 something. I don't know, somewhere up there.
But you went to straight mythic top 200, I think.
Yeah. I think that one was like 113. Yeah.
Okay, so to go from 50-50 to number 113.
Yeah.
Because of mulligan rules.
Yeah.
Right. And that deck was like, if you didn't kill your opponent immediately, you are not going to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Remember I told you, like, if you're on turn 5, you've probably lost.
Yeah.
Or what I said.
I love that deck. It was so much fun to play, and it was sneaky good. Like, it didn't look good, and you're like, how is this ever going to do anything?
Yeah.
But it just, the recruiter and the other dude, I can't remember, the evangelist, like, it was just like great synergy.
Yeah, it was a red kind of a red-white token deck that was with a Convoke and stuff like that was popular a little while back, with the 1 red sorcery that could create 3 1/1 goblins for you, just to give a passing sense to somebody who may or may not be oriented. Okay, great questions about Michael's deck. Sammy, did you have any more questions about Michael's deck? Or thoughts?
No, I don't think so. I think it looks pretty good. I wonder about the Needlekins. If in Arena, I think 2 is probably the right number. I think in the real world, you probably want 4.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because in the real world, you're going to see. I really saw it the other night when they did.
A fun Vivi.
Yeah, when they did that token challenge or whatever it was, you had to pay 4,000 and you could get in the tournament, 4,000 diamonds. and Vivi came out like crazy, and I wasn't ready for it because I was so calibrated for Arena where you hardly ever see Vivi. And you can calibrate for it if you're ready for it, but if you're not, you just get run over.
Yeah, I'd say I see Vivi 1 out of every 8 games, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But that night it was more like 40%, which is obviously a lot more than 1 in 8.
Yeah, people were incentivized.
Exactly. Okay. All right, let's pull up.
One thing I wanted to say real quick is the blue-green deck.
Yeah, let's pull up Bunni Bzka. I wanted to hear Smitty's thoughts because Smitty did get a chance to test this a little bit last
night. It's kind of trending. Yeah, I don't know why you guys couldn't hear me. It's probably because something's stupid with my Bluetooth or whatever. But sorry about that.
No problem.
The blue-green deck is really like trending now, and they're playing that 2-drop.
Oh, you're talking about this one, which is an interesting deck. There's a blue-green. He's not a land. I know which one you're talking about. I'll pull it up. This guy right here. So he's called a Genomorph Imago. And I'll read this for everybody in case you guys aren't, but this is really a trending card. People love this card, and you can lose to this card. So first of all, guys, this is a flyer. Remember, it's a flyer. It has so much text you can miss the flyer. It's a 1/3 flyer for a blue and a green. It's an insect druid, and its main power is landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, target creature has a base power and toughness of 3/3 till end of turn. If you control 6 or more lands, that creature has a base power and toughness of 6/6 until the end of turn. So what they're doing is they're using this to make something really big and then sending it your way.
Yeah, the Boltwave shows up in those decks too, as does the 4-drop landfall guy who can warp. I forget the name of it.
What's that Borodroid called again? What is he?
2 green and 2. He can warp for 3. Landfall, I believe, is double target creature's power.
Okay, let me find him.
Something like that.
Let me find this. Warp.
And he's a 4/4 by himself.
Yeah, this is the Might Form Harmonizer.
Yeah, that one.
Lamp. Okay, so this is one card that you said that sometimes appears in their deck. And what else?
Yeah, that and the Boltwave. I'm seeing those show up. They're even playing the little 2/1 flyer, which is probably really bad. But when it enters, it's got flash, and I think it makes something hexproof or indestructible. I can't remember which one. I think hexproof. But when it's a 3/3 or a 6/6, it can kill you.
Okay, great. So, and folks, for your card speculators, this Aurobroid is going to go up. So it's just going to go up. So you speculators, it's going to go up. I could be wrong, but I think it's going to go up.
No, it's definitely a very, very hot trending card. I don't know what it costs right now, but it's not cheap.
Okay, great. All right, Smitty, do you have any general thoughts about Bunni Bzka? You got a little bit of chance to play it last night.
I don't. I agree with the assessment about the paw patch. Try not to cast him until you get 2, because like everything you said about the counters is just so true. It's like, fuck, it grows, and like spot removal just doesn't do it against those guys.
Right. Yeah, you can really wreck people with paw patch recruit. And it's one of the kind of the shining stars of this deck. And then again, there's just so many other cards that can just make a big difference. The scrap shooter you saw that game was not the card that guy wanted to see, and so on.
Yeah, you've seen paw patch show up in other decks that aren't Bunny centric.
Yeah. Dream Do, folks. Remember, you can hit your own elf with the 2 stun counters, and you just draw 2 cards. It's very often the right choice against kind of a slower matchup.
Yeah, there's plenty of times you want to hit your own guy.
Yeah, very, very often. We had a whole deck around this a ways back. Was it Sugar Smacks? That deck was awesome with a bunch of frogs. But yeah, this deck, you can really get on top of people and do the whole Necrotal thing. That Dan is jumping in the streets because, as we all know, Dan's a huge fan of Mockingbird. This is a very Dan style deck, even though Dan didn't happen to come up with this one.
One thing maybe about that deck is I don't know if it's any good or not, but we could think about Misbreath Elder if he's still around.
What is he?
Misbreath Elder, 1 mana 3/3. bounces your guys.
Oh, I did think about this guy. We looked at this guy, and he's so interesting.
He's
And
sexy with mockingbirds too. Copy their elf. Boom. Come back later. Copy their
oh yeah,
Mistborn.
yeah. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind testing some Mistbreath, or maybe even just. You know what could be funny with Mistbreath is just maybe just one. Maybe just one is awesome because it's such. He does so much.
It might be the authority of councils for the deck.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, Smitty's referring to me. I oftentimes I'll just stick one authority to the council because one just does so much more than zero. Okay, great. What a killer time. Let me give everybody a chance. By the way, I wanted to give big ups. Lawrence, I understand you've been doing a lot with your stuff, been making moves. Theory was telling me that you guys are cooking up some great stuff, so that's really cool. Yeah, we just have a lot cooking. I was really excited, by the way, with the over-the-shoulder video from Theory and Bryn. Did you guys want to just take a minute or so, minute or two to talk? You guys did some work on Upwork and looked things over. Theory's partner, John, who's also a part of our group here, was just in talks with a $500 million company about SEO. This is very serious stuff, digital marketing that we do. Did you guys want to talk a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, Brent, do you want to have any comments?
Yeah, sure.
500 million client, we actually have him, by the way. There's an actual live client that we have. He was just meeting them in person for some reason, but not sure why, but probably good, right? Anyways, I just wanted to say that. And Brent, if you want to comment on the video we did.
Yeah. So Cherry and I met more than once. I guess it was most of the past 6 days or so. Great conversations, lots of priority implied there. And one of the things we went over was John's Upwork profile, and also like a conversation he had with a lawyer, basically. What I noticed was that the message, the cover letter. So basically, if someone posts a job on Upwork, then you can reply, and you can kind of like apply, and the application is called a cover letter. What I noticed about the cover letter that John and Cherry wrote, and they made a video on this also, is that it's so different than the default cover letter. The default cover letter would either be kind of like a copy paste where they would apply to 100 jobs, saying like not basically people out there, and they would basically say like, oh hey, you hired me.
Slow feeling like, do you ever accidentally play a game on standard and you find out you're playing unranked, and then you're just playing against, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you're just playing against like a pointless deck, and they don't even know what they're doing, or they're just playing like 2 turns slower than you or something, and you're like, what is this? But that's sort of like everybody on Upwork.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, and then you compare it against the cover letter that John and Cherry wrote, and it's so serious. It's like, okay, well, if I'm gonna hire somebody, it's somebody like that. Like they do Loom videos in their website.
Like it gives you the feeling, okay, this is really important. So there's a certain effect that something can have in conversion, where you feel like the document points out that only certain people are qualified for this job. Like the way that Theory and John are presenting things with their cover letter is creating a whole reframe for the client that's basically saying, hey, listen, if you're not covering, these are the boundaries that you need to have covered in order to be getting serious work done in this space that we're going to do a good job on, that's going to work. And if you don't have this, you're screwed. And then you also happen to be the only applicant that they know fits that requirement, right? Like, so you've done a reframe that you're the only qualified person. Well, that only XYZ makes you qualified, right? That's what you must be saying. That logically, that's what you're saying. Is that right, Brent?
Yeah. And
so the way that they're doing it is like disqualifying everybody else.
Yeah, for sure. And it's obvious as day. It's night and day difference. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
Yeah. We'll get more into it. That's a great teaser. We had Jeremy on for the first time, so that was great. I'm glad to have him. He's a brand new Magic player. I have a webinar with him tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. We had a bunch of people on. This is a great. I mean, it's really grown as a podcast already, and I mean, we're not really marketing. I'm just trying to get the feeling of it. I really wanted Smitty to come on, so I was super excited that Smitty would come on, and he added a lot, which I wanted him to. Smitty will always add the backbone of anything. It's just the way he is. And so just terrific to have him on. So great to have everyone else. Lawrence, did you have any final words for today?
Yeah, this was the first time that I think I've experienced a deck that was built to be like best 2 out of 3. So it was kind of interesting to see that perspective of how you're using the sideboard to kind of build
for
around
everyone
it.
to know, Lawrence and Brent are so new that sideboards are new to them, because I kind of trained them without sideboards because it's just easier to get started. And also I myself just can hardly ever play with the sideboard nowadays, because I'm almost always going to get interrupted just by a business thing or something I need to take care of if things go too long. So great stuff today. I'm so happy with how, guys, I'm really so happy. If you see it, take the time to just turn on a Pat McAfee show just for a few seconds and see how they have it set up, with a bunch of guys that are all just very knowledgeable and that have kind of a synergy, and they talk kind of about the same subject, and it's meant to be scientific, fun, right? But still, that there's the boundary with them is science, right? Like that it's a scientific thing. They're discussing, hey, is this team going to be better? Who's trending right now? Who's going to win the Super Bowl or whatever? And they're trying to, figure that out. And then, and yet also capture the experience, right? That's another boundary they have. How do we capture this magical experience of this game that we love, right? I admire that. And that's one of the things I spotted out. I was like, that's dead on, and we will have that. So that's one of the things that we already have that's really already captured. And Michael, and it was I want to really hail Gary, because it was Gary who I got to talking to a lot in Orlando, and I've been in touch with him, and Gary was the one who brought Michael on, who put us in touch. And so Gary is every bit the champion in my heart that Michael is. Michael's crushing it right now on Mythic. We want to give him an attaboy. Great way to go, Michael. Kicking ass. Good for you. And and I think that Gary deserves all that same recognition, because he's the one bringing it to us and making it a part of us, and we're all working together here. So it's a great experience. I'll say a final thing. I was talking to David Mills, and I think we're going to go ahead and get into it a little bit with Wizards of the Coast and myth busting surrounding mine and David's reputation, especially David's reputation and the event that he was ejected from. I'm going to officially right now call on Wizards of the Coast to release the footage of it. Go ahead and release it. Why isn't there? I'm going to ask an important question from David Mills and I. Why isn't there any footage of Magic the Gathering, Pro Magic the Gathering, until you see Mike Long playing in the Pro Finals exactly one tournament after David's ejection? Why is the footage, was video invented then? No, they were both recorded. We'd like to see that. We're calling on Wizards of the Coast to release that footage of David Mills's ejection against Tommy Hovey, and for them to clarify how it is that he was ejected over a rule that didn't exist at the time. And they've maintained this myth over 30 years. We want to know why. We're calling for that right now. We're calling on Wizards of the Coast to do that and shaming them if they don't do it. So guys, do it. The pressure is now on. All of us are here. We're putting a lot of pressure on you. So believe it or not, this is a lot of pressure. You shall see. You shall see. This is how a seed grows. A seed grows. And that's a powerful little seed that just got planted. Seed that might even change the whole world, because there's a lot of gaslighting that goes on out there. And you just, once you understand how to spot gaslighting, you can weed it right out. Okay, everybody, fantastic podcast. Special thanks once again to Michael. We really hope that Michael and Gary will join us for the next podcast. We're going to follow along the adventures of their awesome Boros deck. We need to come up with a name for that sucker. It's a really good deck. Having a lot of fun with it. And I introduced everybody today to Bunni Bzka. A lot of fun. What a killer podcast that we have here. A lot of science, a lot of fun. Really appreciate it. Tip of the cap to everybody. Glad to have you on. We will see you next time. See you next week.
Thanks again, guys.
I'll put the review up. I'll put the replay up on the Video Music Showcase channel. I'll send it to all of you guys.
Gracias.
Gracias.